Zillow just announced their latest housing market forecast for 2025 regarding home values and home sales. Also new in this video, I make this video every month for you guys, but new this video, I'm going to share how their forecast this year compares to Realtor.com, Redfin, and also Fannie Mae as well. Let's go ahead and dive right in. I don't want to waste your time. This was just announced yesterday, which was on January 21st. It says Zillow's latest forecast anticipates stronger home value growth with a slight downward revision to existing home sales or the forecast for sales in 2025. Recent indicators suggest that mortgage rates may not decrease as much as previously expected or anticipated. This is also true from Fannie Mae as well. Let me actually just share that with you guys right now. So Fannie Mae's forecast in 2025 regarding the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage rate is at 6.6%. Then in 2026, to only decrease to 6.4%. This is pretty wild. So here is Q1 of 2025. They're calling for the average rate to be at 6.7, on par with Q4 of 2024. Then to end the year at only 6.5%. So a very small decrease compared to Q1 this year. Now here is 2026 to basically be paid at around 6.3 to 6.4% all year, and therefore to end the year at 6.4%. So rates have been, based on this forecast, is forecasted to remain very much elevated to say the least. The average rate in 2023 was 6.8%, 2024 6.7%, and to be relatively at around 6.5% for quite some time. So because Fannie Mae and also Zillow is forecasting that we're going to have this higher for longer rate environment, they're anticipating that home sales are going to remain at relatively low levels, but higher compared to 2024. It says existing home sales are forecasted to reach 4.11 million in 2025, a downward revision from their previous forecast. So their forecast, which I made a video about that as well, posted 1 month ago. At that time, they're forecasting for 4.16 million sales this year. Now it's only at 4.11 million. It says a highly volatile mortgage rate environment remains a downside risk to their sales forecast. In other words, if mortgage rates stay higher for longer than they anticipate, of course, sales will remain even lower than their predictions of 4.11 million. However, lower mortgage rates when compared to a year ago should support a rebound in housing transactions in 2025. Now, speaking of that, how's this all compared to years past, right? Let's look at their forecast for 2024 first, because we haven't seen December's numbers yet. So Zillow's forecast for last year was at 4.06 million. That would be a decrease of 0.7% compared to 2023. And of course, if you guys follow the channel, back then, we had the fewest number of transactions since the year of 1995, or a 28-year low, despite the fact there's tens of millions of people living in the United States more right now compared to 1995, right? Again, forecast at 4.06 million. That would be a 29-year low in transactions, by the way. And of course, their new forecast at 4.11 million this year would be a 1.2% increase compared to 2024. But here's my biggest takeaway regarding this. If you look at the year as a whole, 23 through 2025, again, we had around 4 to 4.1 million transactions. This is far lower than the long run average at 5 million per year. This means over the past 3 years, if this forecast actually comes into fruition this year, we've been missing around 3 million transactions over the past 3 years. What's pretty wild about this as well is that normally when we have a huge decrease in transactions, that normally equates to a decrease in prices, but we're not seeing that. So looking at prices last year for the nation as a whole, we're up by about 5%, even though transactions should be at around a 29-year low. Now, speaking of that, let's have a look at Zillow's real estate market predictions for home values this year. They're now forecasting for home values to rise by 2.9% this year. This is an improvement because last month they're forecasting at 2.2%. It says mortgage rates are projected to decrease slightly this year, though less than previously expected, which should provide some relief in affordability and therefore a boost in demand. But again, not a big increase in demand, whereas sales only increasing by 1.2% compared to 2024. Speaking of that, let's have a look at how these predictions compare to other companies such as Fannie Mae, Redfin, and Realtor.com. So again, Zillow is forecasting for 4.1 million sales this year and for prices to increase by 2.9%. Fannie Mae is predicting that we're going to have around 4.15 million transactions and home prices to increase by 3.5%. Redfin gave a range of 4.1 to 4.4 million sales by the time we hit December this year, and home prices to rise by 4%. And Realtor.com is predicting for just under 4.1 million sales, but home prices to rise by 3.7%. So what do you guys think about these predictions here? Sales around 4.1 million and prices up in the range of 3 to about 4%. That's actually a little bit lower compared to the long run average. We should be seeing a range of increases in prices of around 5%, not 3 to 4%. I also believe we're going to see more transactions though this year. It's not too hard to have a higher amount of sales, given that last year should be around a 29-year low. So a small increase up by 1.2% in sales is still a relatively low number. But what are your thoughts regarding today's video? And also, what is your housing market forecast this year? Please leave a comment below. If you guys want a real estate agent referral, then check out my website, which is realestateteamfinder.com. If you guys got any value out of today's video, then please hit the like button. Also consider subscribing as well. I appreciate you guys so much. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you next video.